you've got pain shooting down your arm or leg and you're worried that every movement is making it worse, listen closely because this is going to help you. In this video, I'm going to show you a whole bunch of great stuff. Why pain travels, where it can come from, why that doesn't necessarily mean you're causing damage, and how we identify the driver on day one. G'day, it's Chris Fawcett here from the Headache and Pain Management Centre in Annerley. And if you live on the south side of Brisbane, Annerley, Greenslopes, Tarragindi, Holland Park, Mount Gravatt Way, and you've got pain running down your arm or down your leg, then this is going to help you. One of the biggest things we help people understand is this. Pain in your arm or leg is often not actually coming from your arm or leg. So if your pain feels scary, unpredictable, or if it keeps moving, that does not automatically mean that you're damaging something. What it usually means is that the main source of your pain hasn't properly been identified yet. And that's important because when people don't know where the pain is actually coming from, they do what anyone would do. They get nervous about bending or walking, they avoid exercise because they're scared it's going to flare up, and they start living like their body is fragile. Radiating pain is one of the quickest ways to make people lose confidence in their body. Because when pain shoots down your arm, or zings into your calf, or stabs into your buttock, or travels further away from where it started, it feels more serious. It feels harder to trust your body, and harder to trust health professionals as well. And a lot of people coming to our clinic say the same things to us, like, am I trapping a nerve, Chris? Am I making this worse every time I move? Should I stop exercising? Why does it start in my back but end up in my leg? Or I feel like I just want to rip it out. Or the classic, is this you? Why does it move around so much? My neck hurts one day but it's a headache the next. My back feels tight on Monday but by Wednesday it's shooting down my leg. And then it's my neck. It feels random, unpredictable, and frankly, exhausting. And if no one has ever explained this properly to you, when pain behaves strangely, your brain fills in the gaps. And usually people go to the worst case scenarios. They go Googling the horror stories. However, when the scans are clear, the doctors are happy, and the scans just show some degenerative changes, in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's not a tumor.
Not a tumor. It's not a tumor at all.
That's why explanation matters. Because once people understand the pattern, they stop feeling like their body is unpredictable and dangerous. And they start to realize, yeah, this is painful, but it's explainable. And if it's explainable, most times it's able to be sorted out and you can get back living again. Here's the secret. Your pain isn't actually moving, and the place you feel the pain isn't always the place causing the pain. The source is likely staying exactly where it is. What's changing though is how your brain's interpreting it, and this is called referred pain. So when an upper neck joint, somewhere through here, it's irritated, it's not moving properly, your brain can interpret that signal as a headache or a migraine. And the same thing happens with your lower back and your legs. Joint-related pain often refers to your buttock. Disc-related irritation can refer towards the thigh or the knee, and nerve irritation can travel all the way down into the calf or the foot. Nothing's actually moved here. The nervous system just expressed the pain as coming from somewhere else. Now, why is that? Because your body shares nerve pathways. Signals from different areas feed into the same roads of the nervous system, and as a result, the brain can sometimes feel the danger signal further down the line from where it actually started. It's a bit like a crash on the M1 at Greenslopes causing traffic chaos well before you ever reach the accident. If you're like me, stuck on Logan Road at 8 Mile Plains, the real issue is actually further up, and your back and your neck can be the same. You can feel it in the calf, but the driver might be higher up in the lower back. You feel it in the shoulder, the forearm, or the hand, but the driver may be up in the neck. And that's why just treating the place where the pain lands often just is not enough. This is where people lose months. They treat wherever it hurts today. If the leg hurts, you rub the leg. The head hurts, treat the head. Tight traps, poke around here. If the buttocks tight, stretch the glutes. And look, sometimes that can give a little bit of temporary relief. But if the real driver is in the spine, then basically you're dealing with the smoke while ignoring the fire. So the common thinking that pain location equals problem location is often a myth. What we say is that the pain location equals brain interpretation. If you chase the symptoms, often you're throwing water on the smoke and not the fire forever. And that's why it keeps coming back in different spots all the time. In Brisbane terms, it's like complaining about the traffic on the M1 at Tarragindi, while the real bottleneck is a broken down truck on the expressway in the city that hasn't been cleared. You can keep reacting to where the problem shows up, but until you find the actual cause, it keeps backing up, and that's what happens with a lot of radiating pain. People keep chasing the symptom, but what's actually creating the symptom never gets actually tested or treated. When symptoms aren't getting better or people become fearful of movement, people start to lose trust and faith in exercise as well. What we see happen nowadays is that people can try a stretch from like an Instagram influencer, but it flares. So they panic and they think the only thing to do is to rest it. And for people with long-term pain, that will only make them stiffer and the pain comes back again. So the real goal is not just, how do I get rid of the pain in my back or shoulder today? The better question is more like, what's driving the pattern and what's safe for me to do about it? And that's the question that we want answered on day one. To get long-term results, you have to stop chasing the where it hurts and start finding out more about the how it hurts. Now here's the really important part. When your pain changes sides or it moves further down the arm or spreads from the back into the buttock and the leg, this does not automatically mean that you've done more damage. And no, it's not just bad luck either. For us, it's more of a clue. It tells us more about your nervous system and how it's become more sensitized over time. See, when a joint stops moving well or the muscles lose strength and control, your brain increases protection. Muscles tighten, movement changes, your posture and loading shifts, and over time, the system becomes overprotective and your alarm system starts turning up the volume. Even small movements can trigger different referral patterns. A simple way to think about it's this. It's like Brisbane traffic lights getting out of sync in peak hour. At first it's one small delay, then cars start backing up, then side streets start getting clogged, and suddenly everything feels chaotic. This doesn't mean that there's 10 different crashes. It often means that one system problem is now affecting everything around it. The body can do the same thing. One irritated area can create a whole bunch of changing symptoms because the nervous system is overreacting and it's spreading protection around. This is why pain can feel random, and also why it seems to impact your immune system, your hormonal system, and your stress levels as well. But clinically, it isn't random at all. The way it behaves when you sit, bend, walk, lift, cough, reach, twist, it often gives us very useful clues about where to look and where to start treating. This is why our first session is a full hour. We don't just glance at the scan and guess. We don't just look at the spot that you're pointing to. We test thoroughly. We look at how your spine moves, how your symptoms respond to movement, how your body tolerates load, whether strength deficits are forcing compensation somewhere else, and whether the pain pattern fits joint-referred pain, muscular-referred pain, or nerve irritation. We don't want to guess. We want to identify the driver because that's what gives people relief physically and mentally, even before the symptoms fully settle. And once people understand what's likely causing the problem, what definitely isn't, what movements are safe and what the plan is, they stop spiraling mentally. For the lower back, we use objective strength testing, including our Medix lumbar extension machine, and for our neck, our multi-cervical unit. Because let me ask you, what happens when deep stabilizing muscles just aren't doing their job? It's forcing your nervous system to refer pain somewhere else to grab your attention. Sorting a complex issue like chronic pain isn't just a one-off stretch you found on YouTube. It's about restoring movement, rebuilding strength, and reducing sensitivity, and overall calming that system down. Now I want to be clear about this. I hope this video can give clarity to anyone watching, but our treatment is for people who can come and see us here in Annerley in Brisbane. So if you're local, Southside Brisbane, inner south or nearby suburbs, and this sounds like your story, this is your next step. Because this isn't about getting generic advice and hoping for the best. And I understand the irony, you're probably watching me on a phone right now. It's about getting the right exam, the right movement testing, a clear explanation of why your pain is travelling, and that early treatment that starts changing the symptoms as quickly as possible. In many cases, once we start identifying and treating the real driver of your pain, people start noticing meaningful change within the first 2 to 4 sessions. Not because it's magic, because the right thing is actually being treated finally, and that matters. Because if your pain is travelling and no one has properly explained it to you, you don't just need pain relief, you need clarity, reassurance, and above all, you need a plan. So I'll be very upfront. If you want a quick massage, a random stretch, or a one-crack miracle, then this isn't the clinic for you. But if you want a proper assessment, a clear explanation, and a step-by-step plan to work out why your pain is running into your arm or your leg, that's exactly what we do here at our flagship clinic here in Annerley. So if you're in Brisbane and you're ready to stop guessing, book a free 15-minute triage call. Let's identify the driver, let's work out what's actually going on, and let's help you feel safe to move once again. Cheers and bye for now.